Hello, this is Sule from Pomona, California, Zone 10A. Today is March 16, 2021, and I went to the nursery and I couldn't help it. You know how I just uploaded a video about the heritage raspberries? Well, I have fallen in love with raspberries, and I saw this one, and this one is a Caroline red raspberry. So now in my garden I will have the heritage raspberry and the Caroline raspberry. I bought this today, you guys, because I just could not help myself. I have fallen in love with raspberries, and the more I have in my garden, the better. And you know, they say that you need variety of the same fruit so that you can get better yields. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm following advice. Now, I got the Caroline because just with the heritage, it is a primocane raspberry. Now, if you're unfamiliar with that, let me give you a little bit of rundown from what. So the primocane varieties are varieties that will fruit within the first year's growth. So this luscious green shoots, they're called canes actually. These green canes that you see here, they are the first year's growth. They are known as primocanes because they are the first year. These will most likely fruit for me in the fall. Next year, when they fruit for me, the canes will no longer be this green. They will be a little bit brown, and then their name will be changed to floricane because it would be the second year for that cane. So to recap, for the primocane varieties, the first year's growth is primocane. That's the first year's growth, and they will give you fruit within the first year of growth, right? So these are gonna fruit for me. Once they're done, then they will fruit for me next year, and the cane, this cane will be a little bit brown. That will be called now a floricane because it's the second year. It's the same cane right now that is nice and green and young. It's called primocane. And then next year, when it's a little bit brown and it's the second year, it will be called the floricane. Now, there are two varieties. There are varieties that will give you on the primocanes the fruit. They will fruit the first year. And then there are varieties that will only give you in the second year, that floricane. So make sure that before you pick your raspberries, you know exactly what type they are. Are they going to produce on the floricane, the first year's growth, or are they going to produce in the second year, which would be on the floricane? And they're both great, but you know me, I'm greedy. I want fruit right away. I don't want to be waiting. So that's why for me, in my garden, the varieties that do primocane fruit are better for me, but you can choose whatever works in your garden. Anyways, enough rambling. Let me go ahead and show you that I'm going to be growing this variety, the Caroline, in this pot right next to my apple tree, which is starting to wake up. But anyways, that's not what you're here for. But okay, so we're going to be planting this plant, these raspberry plants, in this bucket. I'm just gonna add a little bit more soil, and I'm gonna add some worm castings, and then voila, we're going to plant it. So give me 1 second. I have my soil ready. I'm just gonna add a little bit. I'm not gonna add a lot because I want to make sure that I can add some mulch on top once I have planted the raspberry plant. So I have my soil, and this is store-bought soil that I bought in a bag, and this is the worm castings that I normally use in my garden. Absolutely love them. And this bought soil, I added compost to it, so it has compost there as well, in case you wanted to know that. All right, let me put you on the little tripod, and we will get this beautiful, beautiful, because it is beautiful. I hope you can see that. This Caroline raspberry plant planted in that pot. Let's get to work, you guys. It's a beautiful day. It's super sunny. So yes. All right, first things first, let's go ahead and add some of this store-bought bag soil, potting soil mix, and it has a little bit of compost in there, as I mentioned. So we're gonna add maybe 2 little, and I have this little shovel. It works magic for me. It's also Bruce approved, as always. So this little shovel is super duper tiny, and it works great for me in the garden. So I think I'm gonna add about, maybe, I would say 3 shovelfuls. It doesn't need a lot, because again, I don't want to fill it all the way to the top, because after I plant the little plant, okay, let's do 4. After I plant it, I'm thinking of adding mulch. Okay, and the next thing we're going to be adding is going to be the worm castings. Again, here they are. And we're not going to add a lot as well. We're only going to add a little bit. Okay, there's our worm castings. And now let's mix so that we can add or plant our little raspberry plant. All right, this is mixed already, so all I'm going to do is do the little hole for our plant. Our little dent or little hole in the middle of this pot is ready for us to add our plant. So let's go ahead and get this out of the pot and into our pot. All right, so we're going to squeeze around so that it can come out as easy as possible. That is beautiful. And the root system is gorgeous as well. So let's plant this. How do I want it? All right. Ooh, I have to dig deeper. Okay, no problem. Let's dig deeper. All right, I removed some of the soil at the bottom and I dug deeper. Hopefully this will do the trick. All right, so it seems like it's a great fit. I'm just gonna make sure that the soil is nicely compacted around the plant. There she is. Isn't she a beauty? Yes, she is. Okay, so let me get my mulch and we'll mulch it in, and then the last step is going to be to water it in. And I'm aiming you directly at the bottom of the plant so you see what I'm doing. I'm just mulching it, but I want you to see what I'm doing, right? When you're mulching, you want to wear your gloves because you don't want those little thorns or splinters in your skin. They hurt. I'm done adding the mulch, so now let me just spread it around. We're just gonna spread it around and make sure that you don't bury any of your leaves so that they don't rot and you don't have any issues. And raspberries like to be moist, but they do not like to be sogging wet. So this mulch will help me retain the water in this bucket, because here where I am, it's absolutely hot. So we need to retain as much water as possible. And that's it. That's all there is to it. I hope you give raspberries a try. Go buy yourself one. They're absolutely delicious. They're very, very low effort. All I do is, as you saw, I put in the potting mix with a little bit of compost. I added some worm castings. And then after that, through the growing season, the only thing I feed them is fish emulsion every 2 weeks. That's it. And they will do absolutely beautiful. If you want to add something else, go ahead and do so. I don't, and I do get raspberries from the first one that I bought, which is the Heritage. So I'm hoping the same thing will happen with this beautiful red raspberry Caroline. Now the last thing to do, as always, is to water it in. You want to make sure that anytime you plant a seedling or a new plant, you want to make sure you give them a good watering. You want to make sure that the soil is settling around your new plant or seedling. That way there is no rotting of the root or the plant doesn't die for you. Give it a nice watering. After planting, always give your plants a good watering. Well guys, that's it from Little Bean's Garden. If you like this video, please consider subscribing, hitting the like button, and sharing this video with your friends. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.